Hey there, everyone. Good morning. It's Dawn DelVecchio coming to you live from Sedona, Arizona. And my title for today's talk is Why I Won't Binge Watch on Netflix. So I want to begin, first of all, by inviting you all to stay with me here because some of what I'm going to say might be triggering or uncomfortable. And my intention here really is to open up a conversation and an invitation. I also want to say at the get-go here that if the things that I talk about resonate with you and you are interested in going deeper with this stuff, I really invite you to consider joining me at my Empowered Feminine Leadership Retreat in Thailand this winter. We're going to be at an extraordinary truly eco-friendly resort, and with vegetarian organic meals and deep dive immersion into the principles of activating love as frequency, of balancing the masculine and feminine, and really of awakening in this lifetime to be the force of love and light for the planet during these changing times. So I will add the link to that at the end of this live transmission. But for now, I want to address this topic of the day: why I won't binge watch on Netflix. And I want to begin, first of all, by saying I've actually never watched a Netflix, but I have heard of this phenomena called binge watching. And I have binge watched. In fact, that's what I did last night. And that's the piece I want to share with you today. So what I've done is, rather than Netflix, I've rented movies or occasionally these series on Amazon. So last night, my husband and I decided, after seeing a number of friends talk about this Outlander and how amazing this series is, we decided to purchase season 1. And I watched 7 episodes in a row. And it was a fascinating experience for me to do this, because even as I was watching and getting drawn in from one to the next because of the open loops and the cliffhangers at the end of each one, I was also really observing myself getting hooked in like a drug. And so that's the piece that I want to address here. I want to address the way this binge watching phenomena is another way of keeping our vibrational frequency low and keeping us locked into patterns of addiction, fear, and low vibrational frequency. So let me just do my connecting in here so that I could bring forward this message in a clear, articulate way, and hopefully not take as long as I did yesterday, which was a long transmission. Okay. On first blush, some of the TV series or movie series, whatever you call these things, that are made for things like Stars or Netflix or HBO or whatever, even Amazon. At first blush, some of these series are really seeming very high quality, very engaging, great storylines, great costumes, great dialogue, great acting. So on the level of taking it for what it's worth, looking at it as the art of filmmaking, we could say, wow, some of these things are absolutely stellar. They're amazing. And that becomes a really great justification for indulging ourselves in entertainment. And on another level of looking at things, if I were a gambling woman, I would venture to guess that almost all of them are woven in with deep or wide threads of indoctrination into the consciousness that keeps us from awakening. Whether that's because of the excessive violence in some of them, whether that's because of the excessive heartbreak or fear or alienation or insulting or whatever it is. There's the Western culture has been so inundated with excessive violence and heartless sexuality as forms of entertainment that most of it has become extremely toxic to our soul's evolution and to our potential for awakening and returning to love as frequency, love as the embodied consciousness of divine in form. So now I will take my personal example because, of course, I haven't watched tons of these things. So I, have to admit that I'm limited in my scope. So I started watching Outlander. And boy, I could say, wow, I learned something about history. I saw the beauty of the natural landscapes, the cinematography, the incredible costuming, the dialogue, the character development, all of that stuff. Like, wow. And excessive violence and romanticizing violence and polarizing good guys versus bad guys, even though the good guys are also extremely violent and brutish. And the bad guys are just, taking violence and brutish to a more refined format. The amount of blood and guts and horror that are seen as sort of noble because we see this woman, the heroine, the star. She was a nurse in World War I, and so she's got these incredible healing abilities and these incredible skills. And we could say, wow, how noble, how amazing, how, feminine, empowering, and all this stuff. And honestly, I'm calling BS on the whole thing. Because if we watch it from another level of the game, if we get out of the battlefield of 3D consciousness and look at this from a higher perspective, a perspective aligned with love, what we see is entertainment steeped in fear, death, blood, guts, and horror. We don't see love. We see brutality. And yeah, we see gorgeous men, or at least one anyway. We see romance. We see, seeding of romance. We see all of these things. But at another level of it, these kinds of stories are reiterating the same old paradigm: fear, separation, alienation, war, brutality, violence, blood, and guts. These do not activate the frequency of love. They activate the frequencies of fear and hate and blood and death. And so I have to say, this is why I won't binge watch. Unless I were to find something that was truly activating the frequency of love, I could not contribute my energy to it anymore. So I learned a big lesson. I literally woke up feeling hungover this morning, even though I didn't have anything to drink. I drank water, and had a very light vegetarian dinner. I was hungover with the frequency of fear and separation. And despite the fascination of the storyline, despite the fact that I watch myself over and over again go, one more, just one more, just one more. Still, what I experienced was a level of sort of activating the trauma frequency. So, and perhaps this is making people uncomfortable because I have some amazing sister friends who love this series, and I totally get why. I get it. And I just recognize that I don't want to do that energy anymore. My deepest desire is to awaken in this lifetime. And that's probably a really high calling, but I know that activating frequencies of fear and not God, not goddess, not love will never get me there. So that's why I won't binge watch Netflix or any of these other things, Amazon Prime in my case. And I just want to not to beat up on Outlander, because that's one example. And I know there are tons of things out there, and who knows, maybe there's some that are amazing. I did watch one other a few months ago. We started watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, I think it was, which isn't violent or anything in that way at all. It's very snappy. The dialogue is extraordinary. It's very, very witty and still. as amazing as the scripts are for that, what I saw was all intellecty, all mind, no heart, all thought, no connection with feelings, and more of the same activation of that which is not the frequency of love. And so again, brilliant stuff, absolutely brilliant stuff, and totally not aligned with activating the frequency of love and light. And so these are my reasons why I won't do this. And maybe this is triggering for you. And if it is, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to converse about this, because I sincerely feel like we are at a point on the planet when, I mean, I know it, it's not just me saying this, where we are being called to step up to a level of personal, energetic, emotional, and intellectual accountability that we could not have even imagined 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years ago. An accountability for complete 100% sovereignty and management of our frequency. I want to say that again. 100% complete accountability for our sovereignty and our energy and our frequency. Because this really is a game of frequency. It's so easy to get distracted in the form. Well, you know, there's a great storyline. It's a love line. There's an ultimate good message. There's this, that, the other, this, that, the other. But what it boils down to in the end is frequency. What is the frequency you are running? Are you running love, or are you running something else? Fear, separation, hate, anxiety, judgment. Because if you're running anything but love, you are moving away from the divine. You are moving away from your alignment with Source, your alignment with your higher self. It is only when we really can activate and live in the frequency of love, regardless of what's showing up around us, that we can be the love we came here to be. And so in my experience, unless and until I become an awakened master in form, binge watching film, video, whatever it is, however good it is, that takes me away from the frequency of love, does not serve what I came here for. So despite its entertainment value, this is why I won't binge watch Netflix or Amazon Prime or Stars or HBO or any of those things. Because in the end, ultimately, I choose love. And that's a daily choice I make over and over again. It's not because I'm perfect, and it's not because I have judgment of others who are doing this. It's because I know that more than anything else, my deepest desire is to activate the frequency of love and to align with my highest path and purpose, that I may be a source of light on this planet to the best of my ability, imperfect as it is. So, anyway, if you resonate with that, I'd love to hear from you. If you don't resonate with that, I'd love to hear from you. And certainly, sisters, if you are seeking to realign with your own blueprint, to really get connected with your own personal empowerment, to meet with other sisters, to feel the support of a sister circle, to lift as we rise, and to have an extraordinary, deep, connective experience in a retreat format, then again, as I said at the beginning, I invite you to connect with me and apply to attend my next retreat of Empowered Feminine Leadership in Chiang Mai, Thailand, this February 5th through 11th. I'll put that link here as soon as I publish this. And now I am off to my sacred spot in nature where I will put my physical body and skin on the earth and commune there for a bit of meditation before I continue with my day. I am offering much love, bright blessings, and really non-judgment about the choices any of us make. Just saying, hey, these are the choices I make and here's why. So if that aligns with you, great. If it doesn't make sense to you, let me know. Let me know what's working and not working for you either way. Okay, sending you much love for now. Until next time. Mwah. Have a beautiful, blessed day.